Okay, I think we're live.
We're live right now.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hey,
y'all.
everyone. Welcome to this week's virtual write-in. I'm Catherine. I'm the communications manager at NaNoWriMo, and my pronouns are she, they.
And I'm Nautica. I'm the editorial intern for the summer, and my pronouns are they, them, or she, her. And honestly, today I'm kind of proud of the theme. It's called places to be or not to be. So we're really thinking about like settings this time around.
It gave me a good chuckle when I saw that. Theme.
I was so proud for no reason.
No, with reason.
And I know we're also already past like the midpoint of like camp, like last stretch, home stretch. And I know folks are like still pushing through, and I'm glad I see a lot of folks coming through, saying hi, introducing themselves in the chat. Keep with it.
Yeah, and speaking of places to be or not to be, if you want to let us know where you physically are in the world where you're writing from today, you can drop that in the chat as well.
Okay, so as always, we're going to be hosting these virtual write-ins this week and also next week for July. It would be our last one. If we extend it, we'll let you know. If not, well, we're enjoying today. And so should we get into the first prompt?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get some writing done.
Okay. So this one, use these words or theme. You can use all of them. You can use none of them. Just get writing. Use sand, blizzard, moon, acid, underground. And should be posted in the chat.
I'm just copying and pasting it. So this one, how long is this word sprint? 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay. And if anybody's joining today and hasn't done one of these before, basically we'll just be doing word sprints where we set a timer and write as much as you possibly can in that time. And you can feel free to use the prompt or not. It's up to you. If it works for you, that's great. If not, you can write about something else, but they're there to help.
You want me to do time or you got it?
I got time.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Let us start prompt number 1 now. about a minute and a half left. Okay, time is up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. If you want to share either how you used the prompt or a sentence that you wrote, or the word count that you got during that writing sprint in the chat, feel free to drop that in there. How'd this one go for you, Nautica?
It was good. I wrote something about acid sand and the person being very frustrated finding out that there's such thing as acid sand.
Oh my gosh. That feels like it would be something that's on, like, I don't know, some cool sci-fi planet. It's like, oh, don't go into the desert. It's got acid sand in it.
That acid sand, and like, oh, this is such a burden.
I love that. I was writing totally off prompt, but I was writing, so that's something.
Yeah, we have some few folks joining us late and getting the first prompts, but we have like 448 words to 60.
Somebody asked what the prompt was. So I'll be putting all the prompts both in the chat and in the video description. So if you came in late, you can look at the video description. But the first prompt was using the word sand, blizzard, moon, acid, or underground in a scene that you're writing.
Props to anyone who managed to fit all of that in one cohesive.
That's the key word there, I think.
We have Michelle saying, Lantern looked out at the acid. No, the rain. The mossy forest around her seemed to tremble, the rain turning into a blizzard. Moss yowled at her. Lantern, stop seeing things that aren't there.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, it sounds pretty trippy.
Silver Cat wrote, I considered the bell a tiny silver thing. Touching it, I could feel a hint of power on it, humming under my fingers. Its ring was a soft, sweet chime. Nice.
Nice. Well, probably continuing on, did you want to go into discussion?
Yeah, we can do that. I always get so wrapped up in like reading all the stuff that people write because I'm just like, oh, I just want to read all of these books now.
Yeah, it's also nice that, oh, we're all writing together. A little sweet community.
I know.
But the real question to ask y'all is, how do you write your settings? What is your process for that?
I do want to know the answer to this question.
I ask because I have difficulty with settings. I do not like it. Like, I used to be great when I was like younger and I can visualize all it. And now I'm like, there's a tree. I want to focus on characters.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you usually like go really in depth into your characters?
I think I do. I think I like plan out the setting in like time.
Mm-hmm.
in which the characters need to be somewhere,
Oh,
if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So like I know that they have this conversation in this place, or like they do this thing over here.
Yeah, and they eventually need to be here, so how do they get there?
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe I'm almost maybe the opposite, where I get like not setting necessarily, but like I get really into descriptions, and I'll just have these like long paragraphs like describing the pictures on the walls and like stuff like that, and I'm just like, okay, this is cool, but nothing has happened in like 3 pages.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about the characters in the world, though. It's either people write a lot or people write,
I know. Yeah, let us know in the chat if you're a person who writes a ton of setting description or not very much. I blame the Redwall series for mine. I don't know if you ever read those. It's basically like fantasy books, like high fantasy, but with mice and squirrels and stuff like that.
yeah.
There are always these long descriptions, and especially of feasts. It was like describing all the food that they ate. I just, every time I read it, I was like, oh, I want to eat this meal right now.
That's exactly the point. We have, where was it? We have Birds Rule 87. For me, I always just imagine my characters telling me their stories like a pseudo memoir autobiography. So my setting gets accounted for in the pseudo natural sort of flow.
That's really cool. I love that.
Or Silver Cat, I mostly skim over the settings until editing. In my current scene, I actually have a bit that says description of outside here. I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll add it in later.
Danielle Burns has a really interesting method. It says, I use rice or coffee beans to make a map, then split into countries, then use Pinterest to get an idea of the environment, and take each country to do more specific settings, towns, buildings, etc.
That's really smart.
Yeah, that's like such a hands-on way to visualize it. I love that.
Especially if you're doing like fantasy or something.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd probably do it with like M&Ms or something, but then I'd probably have the problem of eating my setting.
Yeah, no, I probably put Post-its on a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Kate L says, I noticed I tend to forget smell and taste in my description. So I jot a list of smells and tastes for the scene setting while I outline. If it's not outlined, it doesn't get written.
That's really smart. Yeah, definitely. Those are the two senses that tend to fly in under the radar a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And definitely changes the scene.
Oh yeah. I wrote a story about a werewolf a little while ago, and I was trying to essentially only describe things, or like mainly describe things through smells. But
yeah, that's should we move on to the next prompts? Do folks feel like writing?
Yeah, I want to just call out this one piece of advice by Misty Kate that says, I think it's important for the characters to interact in some small way, especially during a dialogue scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think they mean interact with like the setting or the environment, but that makes a lot of sense. I think of like, oh, we're having a conversation, but like, pick up your smoothie or like go.
Like if you're in a blizzard, are they trembling?
Yeah.
Are they like their words or something, like stumbling over it?
No, that's a great piece of advice. All right, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the next prompt.
Yeah, let's keep the writing going. The next one, we're gonna do this one for 10 minutes, and it's gonna be write a scene about your character finding themselves in a setting extremely different than where they usually live. Maybe they're deep in an ocean, up in the clouds, in a different country, or even dimension entirely. How do they react? What are the challenges they face in this new environment? Yeah. So we're going to do this one for 10 minutes.
Yep. I'm just putting it in the chat here.
Hopefully this makes y'all think, helps out with either your character building or seeing their reactions.
Yeah.
And also work on your setting describing at the same time. Or not at all, write whatever you want.
And remember, you don't have to use the prompt if it doesn't work for you, but it's there as kind of a jumping off point if that is helpful. All right, so 10 minutes writing a scene about your character finding themselves in a setting that's extremely different than where they usually live. And let's start now. about halfway done. Got about a minute left. Time is up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. Again, you can drop in the chat either a sentence that you wrote or the word count that you got, how you used the prompt if you did.
Didn't realize I was on mute. There was a whole bus behind me. How was that for you?
Pretty good, actually. I don't know that any of it makes sense, but I was typing a lot. So, how about you?
It worked. It's probably one of the hardest things. It's just if I was using it for something I am writing on and thinking about scenes I want to play out in the future.
Mm-hmm.
In the setting to kind of work on it.
Cool.
We have the King Starfish got 538 words. Wow.
Nice. Michelle says, I'm writing about a fishu, original species, that usually lives in a coral reef who goes and swims in a swamp.
Aw. That's nice. That's sweet. We have Saya with 238 words off prompts. Get it.
Nice. Blue Moon got 330. Nezalina said 201 words. Yay, this has helped me a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I think at the end of this, as long as this helps, as long as y'all write one word, that's better than not showing up and not doing it in a daydreaming way.
It's very true. I'm kind of curious how people's camp projects are coming along just in general. Like, are you staying on target with your word count, or I don't know, falling behind, jumping way ahead? Yeah.
Are y'all updating your word count? I have not updated mine.
Not that.
Nothing.
No. I'll do that right now.
I'm like a couple thousand words behind.
All right.
Yeah. And working on a side project. I'm not a good example.
But how is that? It's okay. No, I can't say anything. I set, I don't know. I set myself a very low camp goal this time. So I should probably up it, actually. But
complete it, pass it, and then once you get that win, up it.
Yeah. I'll put in case people don't know, you can change your goal during Camp NaNoWriMo. You can't during November. That's always 50,000, but during camp you can. So I'll put a link in the chat to our FAQ about changing your goal, if that is something that would be helpful.
We also have CB 394. This is a short story draft of my Nano November 2021 project because I finished camp early. Good job.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, I guess people are finishing now. I always forget because I'm always the person who's writing up to like the very last time.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, we got some procrastinators. I'm one. I talk. We got Odyssey. I'm way behind, but these prompts are amazingly helpful. This nano think that is good as long as it helps you. That's why we do it. We got Brillador. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Probably behind. Haven't checks this week. That's okay. You're here today.
I feel like there are two kinds of people. There are the kinds that are like, I'm not going to update my word count until I like finish it. And then there are the kind of people who are like, every 20 words, they're like, okay, I need to go update this.
Yeah. Or they write and look at the words at the same time. I used to do that.
Oh, whoa. That's some impressive multitasking.
I don't know, it feels kind of like a workout. Like, oh, I have like this many more words.
Mm-hmm. Just like keep repeating it to yourself as you're doing it.
We got Kayla James, did my camp goal, but still writing. Nice.
Excellent. First Destination says, I put the pro in procrastinating.
That's good. At least be good at it.
Yeah. Brillador says, I'm doing a lot of research and world building along with writing. That's cool.
Yeah, that takes up a huge chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess I want to add on a question for y'all, which would add to like the Camp Nano. Like, what's the hardest thing about writing for you? Because if it's hard for you in general, like I understand camp's a way to kind of like push back our like weaknesses, you know, and work on getting through our drafts and our word count.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm trying to think, because I think definitely in the moment when I'm feeling just like, I don't know, it feels like everything is hard, but it's good to like pinpoint the things that actually feel hard.
I think I find it difficult if I don't keep on it. I'll just move on to another project.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely writing when the kind of like the shine of a new thing has worn off and you're like, I want to get to the end of this, but I have to kind of like slog through this bit in the middle first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cora says staying motivated. Saya Dix says hardest thing, finishing. Yep.
Reed says just starting. Flossie says just getting started.
That's hard too. It's hard to start.
Root, I think, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, apologies, but asked when we'll be able to write on the NaNoWriMo site and back up previous projects too. I think you might be asking if you can actually write your novel on the NaNoWriMo site. That is not a thing that we do, and it's probably not going to be a thing that we ever do, just because there are so many novels being written that we don't want to host them in case something crashes, because we don't want to lose your stuff. So you should always write in your own like word processor or whatever you use to write on, and make sure that you have a backup, like either upload it to Google Drive or the cloud or whatever.
What I used to do when I did Nano in like 2012, I used a USB stick. I don't use that anymore, but that was the one time I actually had it on a physical. Yeah, don't lose your work.
Yeah, I also used to keep all of my writing on a USB stick. I still have like an external hard drive that I keep a lot of old stuff on, but Hayden says that I breeze through drafting, but rewriting is what really gets me.
Yeah.
The editing. I think I always feel very intimidated by editing, but then when I start doing it, I'm like, oh, actually, this is okay, because there's already something there to work with. I don't have to like do it from scratch from my brain.
Yeah. Well, two different types. It's either you breeze through it and then you do editing, or you edit as you write. Which I do it all the time. Doesn't work.
You have to go back and edit it anyway. Yeah.
So really just finishing. Do y'all feel ready for the final sprint?
Yeah.
How long should we do? 10 or 15?
I don't know. I think maybe 15. We've got a fair chunk of time left, and it seems like a lot of people's problems are just starting or just finishing. So I think if we just start and then do a lot of writing.
This is for y'all.
Yeah, you asked for it.
Concerns. So prompts 3. Your character returns home. What does their living situation look like? What's in their bedroom, the sounds, the smells, or items that your character decorates their room with? This is just a starting point. If you don't want to write about this, don't. If you just need this to get started with an idea, run with it.
All right, let me pull up my timer here. Okay, 15 minutes, and let's start writing now. I'm about halfway there. Got about 3 minutes left. Sorry, I'm muted. Time's up. Here we go. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. Feel free to put in the chat a sentence that you wrote or how you use that prompt or your word count, either for that prompt or for the write-in as a whole. Yeah. Sorry, I put myself on mute. I said this in the chat because somebody asked about Blobby, who is at my house, but I am not currently at my house. I'm at my partner's house right now. But so I put myself on mute because there's some stuff going on in the kitchen. But anyway, how'd that go for you?
I think it's the best I've done. I hate writing setting. I do. But this is the one time where I'm like, okay, I'm making the time to actually do it, and it works. It worked for me.
That's great. I'm so glad.
You get somewhere with it?
I don't know. I was kind of off and on. I think so. Again, I did the thing where I wrote a lot of description, but nothing actually happened. So
I remember taking a class in which, like, the way you use description, if you're strategic, can just tell more about your character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so this exercise, describe the room. Are things poor? Are things dirty? Are things organized? Tells a lot.
Yeah.
And we have some folks commenting. We got Daniela with 682. This was a much needed one. This is actually a major plot point for her.
Awesome. King Starfish got 947 words.
They're just flexing.
Wow.
Love it.
First Destination got 397. Awesome. Crazy
Foxy total was editing, rewriting about 1,000 words.
Wow. A lot of people saying these prompts really worked for them and where they're at in their novels. So good job, Nautica.
It's honestly what I'm struggling with. I bring it here. I'm self-protected.
No, it's perfect. It works well. You're the voice of the people.
Yeah. We got 885 words, but I stopped in the middle of a sentence. I'm stuck on a word.
Oh no.
I had that a couple times.
You can just put in brackets. I need another word here.
Another word here, honestly. And when I get stuck, I just do something physical, and I'm like, you know what? The idea's out there. I feel it. I'm moving on.
That's great. Oh, Michelle asked, will there be another write-in for this month? There will. There's one next week for sure. We may do some more in August, but there's absolutely one next week because next week is the last week of camp somehow. Where did this month go?
Passed through quickly.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm glad this worked with y'all. A lot of y'all are coming out with a really good word count.
Mm-hmm. Man, yeah, I'm always so impressed. I am not a fast writer. So I'm always in awe of people who can do that.
Honestly, I use these spaces, either these spaces or if someone's talking to me, just to write.
That's great.
I'm not paying attention, but taking the time to write. Ebony Washington says, I recently discovered I love writing setting. I need some tips for describing people. Ooh.
Oh, that's
any tips for that?
Good question. Yeah, I'd love to hear people's tips for that.
Because I know, like, with the certain words, like certain words have negative connotations and certain words have positive connotations. Like, if they're organized, maybe they have their stuff together, but maybe if they're like, I don't know, help me out.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's like there are particular words that have certain connotations, but at the same time, you don't want to like lean into any stereotypes or whatever. So, yeah, no, that is a great question. I'd love to see what people have to say.
Like pristine is different from bougie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is a great way to find that definition. yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the characters that in books that I've read that I've loved their descriptions. And I think sometimes it like feeling like the physical attributes that you decide to sort of like dwell on have some sort of insight into who they are as a character can be helpful. Like I
Mhm.
remember reading one about somebody who like bit her nails, and it's like the fact that she had these like nails that were bitten down to the quick was like showed that she was kind of an anxious person.
Yeah.
um,
I know one where, say, for example, if my phone gets hot, I toss it. If my friend who's really caring, if her phone gets hot, she cradles it.
ah, there we go.
So she'll actually cradle people when they're in distress. If they are, I'm like, ah, ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think yeah, because physical description can just it can tell you so much about how the character lives and who they are and what they do.
Show not tell.
Yeah, yeah.
Michelle says, I would assign a character a feeling. Do the MC feel threatened or relaxed or happy? We were
Mm.
talking about the role playing. I got lost in here.
And author Brendy Lynn says, show and not tell is the hardest thing for me to do. Definitely can't do that on the spot when doing sprints. I can only do that when editing my chapters. And that's still hard to do.
Yeah.
It's true. It is totally fine when you're doing the like quick sprints like this to be like, they were tall and they had brown hair and they were really frightened, and then like go back later and be like, okay, so how do we, how do we show this emotion in their appearance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is all about just get through it, come back, edit it, put in all your hearts and craft into it.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, this is great, Nautica. Thank you so much for putting these awesome prompts together. I think we're just about at time.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So yeah, we'll see you next week. But if you haven't yet, you should go update your word count on the on the NaNoWriMo site. And remember that you can change your goal during camp. You can make it higher or lower if it's not working out for you, if it's not motivating you, whatever's happening, you can change that. And if you've already met your goal and you feel really good about that, then don't forget to claim your winner goodies.
Yeah.
We got some certificates and flair and special stuff, extra special stuff from our sponsors. So make sure you do that.
And also, lastly, on Saturday, Writers of Color, if y'all need a bit more spaces to connect, Nano hosts that. So you can definitely join that on Saturday. Push through to the end. Find your community.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's a great reminder. We're also doing an all community like Zoom hangout tomorrow. Let me get the link here real quick. But this is for anybody in the NaNoWriMo community who enjoys these kinds of write-ins, but instead of us being on screen and you guys being in the chat, the Zoom community hangouts are everybody is on screen if they want to be. You can turn off your camera if you don't want to be. But it's a good opportunity to like meet other people because you go out into breakout rooms and you can actually like have conversations with your mouth words instead of with your screen words. And so let me find that link real quick and I will drop it in the chat. Not too many tabs open as usual.
Yeah. Have like 30 open.
Here we go. Okay.
Ooh, and found their missing word. Good job.
Oh, yay, that's awesome. Okay, so I put the link to the community hangout in the chat. So that's tomorrow at I think 1 p.m. Pacific time, if you guys want to join that. And then, as Nautica mentioned, the Writers of Color hangout is this weekend. So, yeah,
That's it.
Anything?
Nope.
That's it. Great, awesome.
Y'all next week.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.